So here is today's harvest of okra. So over here, as you see catching the afternoon sun, are the calabash squash. And here's some more of the Asian peppers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard. Today we're going to do our weekly, every 10-day update video, and we're going to see how this August garden is holding out. Now, it's a transition time. I don't have a whole lot of new stuff planted to show you, but we can sure check on the things that we're still harvesting and still growing. So the first thing I want to show you though is going to be the chive. Here's the chive patch, and my wife has been picking this. She's picked it 4 or 5 times, and it needs to be picked now because it's trying to bloom out. So she's got a very nice picking of chive still coming in. We can pick this right on into frost just about, but right now it just really keeps growing. And then the second thing we want to show you are these are the second plants that I planted of squash, and they are still producing squash. I've picked maybe a dozen off of these 2 plants right here. These were the best ones. They're getting aged now, but they're still, as you can see, still making squash. So that's why you can see where the tip of it came from here, and that was 7 powder I put on there to keep the squash vine borers out of it, and it's working pretty good. Now here's another one of the yellow squash that's actually got another one ready to pick. So the second planting of squash worked out very well for me. Second planting of zucchini, so far I don't have any. Now these are the original eggplants, and they are just still blooming and growing like crazy. They're doing just fine. Over here are were the giant Asian peppers. And the plants get giant. I'm going to show you some in the back in just a minute that are really giant. But the peppers themselves just seem to be about normal size. And we're getting a good harvest of peppers from these. Now, I have a feeling the moles and the voles or something got into this one because the plant has died and this plant has died. But I've got plenty of pepper plants and I'm getting plenty of peppers. Okay, now over here, I want to show you the persimmons. These are the astringent persimmons, and as you notice, they're starting to get a little color in them, but they won't be ripe until November. It's August the 19th today, but I just wanted to show you how nice the persimmons are doing on this persimmon tree. And then we'll come over here, and these are the fuyus persimmons, and there's not as many on this tree. I've got another tree that's full of them. But anyway, the fuyus are starting to get some color too. And these are non-astringent, and they will be ripe sometime in late September. You can start eating these. So that's all I've got up here in the front garden, except I do have my sweet potatoes. And I'm so ready to turn these bins over and see how many sweet potatoes that I'm getting down out of these sweet potato bins. But I've got to leave them. But we'll be doing a video on the entire sweet potato crop not too long from now, when I actually start harvesting these. The plants are not looking that good at this point, but that's the way sweet potatoes work. And so we should get a nice crop of sweet potatoes. Okay, now I want to show you the jujubes. And here's actually the way they look when they're getting ripe. They get some red on top, and here they are, and we've already picked about half a bushel of these, and I'll show you what they look like inside. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this one that looks so nice. Look at that. So these are really tasty. They're a little bit drier than a pear, a little bit more chewy than an apple, but they are really delicious. And we had a bumper crop. You see how many that fell to the ground before we could pick them up, just in the thunderstorms we've had lately. So anyway, we got a nice harvest of jujubes. Okay, let's go on to the back. So now I'm standing in the okra patch, and the okra has done fantastic this year over here. It's getting a little leggy because, of course, of the fact that here is the place that it's next to, and it's only gets the afternoon sun, but it's still doing great. It's getting enough. So over here I've just got this okra that now every plant is making just about one stalk a day to harvest, and I am just really getting the okra. And so I won't bother you with the entire okra picking, but I just want you to look how pretty this okra is and how nice these plants still are. So that's enough for the okra for now, and I'll be back and show you how much I get once I pick this in just a few minutes. Now these are the real cloned tomatoes. These were the ones where I just picked the suckers, I put them into some dirt and kept them moist for a couple weeks, and I brought them out here and planted them, and they have really taken off. Now they're not blooming like the one I just showed you back in the regular tomato garden is yet, and they need to hurry if we're going to get a crop before the plants quit going. But anyway, they are, here's one trying to make a few blooms. So anyway, these are my clone tomatoes. Now this is another area that I have plowed, and it is now ready for some winter and fall garden. Then over here we have once again the pole lima beans, and we just picked a huge crop of pole limas from these areas, and there's still more coming. Let me open a couple of these up and I'll show them to you. Let's see if I can get this one right quick. And there you go, pole lima beans still producing, and they will produce as long as I take care of them. They will produce until frost. I do want to show you, these are the giant China peppers, and once again they have just grown up. This one here is about 7 feet tall, and they're putting on a nice crop of bell peppers. I've already picked several off of these, so I'm not able to show you a whole bunch of them right here right now, but the plants are just doing well. They're loaded with little peppers, and they're doing great. Now over here are regular bell peppers, and they are also doing great. Here's a little bell pepper here, and here's a couple more here. Here's one here, and here's one just about ready for harvest. And here are my yellow banana peppers, and these are ready for picking, and I'm not going to pick them right now. I just wanted to show you what's going on. And then here are the Asian peppers, and we picked almost a bushel of Asian peppers off of these. Now, these are Asian sweet peppers, even though they look like they might be hot peppers. They're Asian sweet peppers. And here's some more of the Asian peppers. I just wanted to show you how nice they're doing, how nice they look down here. And this is after we've already picked a bushel of peppers. They're putting on a second crop, and that's what you want to do. Keep picking them, and they'll keep putting on more peppers. Now, here are my regular green beans. These are pole green beans, pole beans. And you can see they're starting to bloom. And I planted these late. These were part of the second garden. And I did that because of the fact that I had regular bush beans. And so these beans have filled in. Oops, I've got some spiders here. Let me get on by. But anyway, they look like now they're getting ready to put on their first crop. There's blooms back in there. And they are putting on their first crop of of pole green beans. And I'm glad to see them finally. We're having a heat wave again. It was like 95 degrees again today. we're getting sufficient rain, so I'm starting to see the blooms back here, and that means we're going to have green beans in less than a week to pick here. This is perilla, for the people that know what perilla is. And boy, does it look nice. We topped this and it has come back out. The size leaf you want to eat is about like these, and they are really looking nice here. The perilla is, and then there's another perilla, and then of course we've got the taro patch, and the taro patch is just looking great. It's really starting to thrive again since it's getting plenty of water. We're actually having some thunderstorms now every 3 or 4 days. I'll show you down here at the bottom. When you harvest them, what you do is you dig right here. Let me pull a couple of weeds out so you can see, and you dig right here. All the taro roots are right down here, and you'll pull them up, let them dry out and cure, and you eat those just like regular white potatoes. So I'm looking forward to doing a video on the harvest of perilla. So over here, as you see, catching the afternoon sun, are the calabash squash, and I'm letting these cure out. If you'll leave them out here in the shade under this tree, and then they catch only a little morning and afternoon sun, they're curing out nice, and that way they're going to cure, and they will stay good most of the winter. And then of course here's the butternut squash. I really didn't plant enough of these, and these will be gone real soon when we start eating these. But anyway, I thought you might want to see how the calabash squash and the Big Mac's pumpkin are doing.